It was a crisp autumn evening when Emily's parents left for a weekend getaway, leaving her alone in their old Victorian home nestled at the edge of a quiet, sleepy town. They reassured her that she'd be fine. After all, she was 17, responsible and brave. But as darkness fell, Emily couldn't shake the feeling of unease that crept over her. The house, with its creaking floorboards and drafty corridors, always seemed alive with echoes of its own. Tonight, those echoes felt louder, more ominous. Emily tried to distract herself with homework and Netflix, but the flickering shadows and distant sounds kept her on edge. As she climbed the stairs, she heard a faint tapping sound like fingernails on glass. She paused, heart pounding, but dismissed it as a tree branch against the window. In her room, Emily closed the curtains tightly and crawled into bed, pulling the covers up to her chin, trying to ignore the sound. Instead, she froze in horror. There, pressed against the window, was a face, a pale, gaunt face with hollow eyes staring back at her. It was a face she didn't recognize, twisted in a silent scream. Emily stumbled back, dropping her phone in the process. Heart racing, she scrambled to retrieve her phone, but when she looked back at the window, the face had vanished. As Emily tried to steady her breathing, she heard footsteps. Soft, deliberate footsteps coming from the hallway outside her room. Dread washed over her as she realized someone, or something, was inside the house with her. She tiptoed to her bedroom door, straining to hear any movement beyond. The house was silent now, except for the faint whisper of the wind outside. Emily's mind raced with possibilities. Was it an intruder, a prank, or something more sinister? Against her better judgment, Emily descended the stairs, each step feeling heavier than the last. The door to the basement stood ajar, darkness swallowing the steps that led below. She hesitated, unsure if she could confront whatever awaited her in the depths below. Then she saw it, a figure huddled in the corner, obscured by shadows. It was a woman, her hair matted and clothes torn, rocking back and forth in a rhythmic motion. Emily's breath caught in her throat as she recognized the face, the same face she had seen at her bedroom window before. Suddenly, the woman lunged at her with unexpected speed, hands clawing at Emily's throat. Panic surged through Emily as she struggled to break free, stumbling backward and crashing into a stack of boxes. Dust and debris filled the air, adding to the chaos. Desperation gave Emily strength as she fought back, landing a blow that sent the woman reeling. She scrambled to her feet, heart racing as she backed away toward the stairs. The woman advanced, a feral growl escaping her lips, eyes fixed on Emily with a chilling intensity. Emily knew she had to escape. With one final burst of adrenaline, Emily bolted up the stairs, taking them two at a time. She could hear the woman's enraged screams echoing behind her, growing louder with each step. Tears streamed down Emily's face as she reached the top of the stairs and slammed the basement door shut, locking it with shaking hands. Gasping for breath, Emily stumbled into the kitchen and grabbed the phone, dialing 911 with trembling fingers. She collapsed onto the floor, adrenaline giving way to overwhelming relief and disbelief. She had escaped. Minutes later, police arrived at the house, finding Emily huddled in the kitchen, pale and shaken. She tried to explain what had happened, but the words came out in fragmented whispers, barely audible. The officers searched the house from top to bottom, but found no trace of the woman who had attacked her. Emily's parents returned home the next day to find their daughter traumatized and their house in disarray. They comforted her as best they could, but Emily couldn't shake the memory of the woman's haunted face or the feeling of being hunted in her own home. The terror lingered. In the weeks that followed, Emily struggled to sleep, haunted by nightmares of the basement and the woman's piercing gaze. She sought counseling to cope with the trauma, but the experience had left an indelible mark on her psyche. To this day, Emily can't bear to be alone in the house at night. She sleeps with every light on, and the sound of tapping or footsteps sends her into a panic. The empty house that once felt like a sanctuary now holds only fear, a reminder of the night she faced true terror, alone and defenseless.